Hello, this is Dragon Blitz, and this is going to be a speedrun of Castlevania Symphony of the Night Randomizer using the casual preset. Let's go ahead and get started. 3, 2, 1, go. A couple things to note about the Symphony of the Night Randomizer. This is in its third year of development, so there's a lot of randomization options. I'm using the casual preset because it tends to be just the most random of all the possible presets, which is nice. Adding extra randomization just means that there's more options that need to be covered. You end up seeing more of the game that way a lot of the time, and it leaves room for more on-the-fly routing options. At the start of the game, I will be collecting extra hearts and trying to end with 0 hearts. All of this stuff that I'm doing in the prologue is essentially helping set up my stats/items at the end of the prologue when I start playing as Alucard. Ending with the cross gives me 5 extra MP. Getting the extra hearts at the start lets me start with an extra use item. Same with ending with 0 hearts. Right here, Dracula's giving me a little bit of trouble. It's essentially random how quickly you're able to kill him, due to the fact that there is a hidden mechanic in the game called the damage stack. When you throw holy water after using the Hydrostorm item crash, there's just a random chance that you do like damage basically on every frame, or on like more frames than is normal for him. Lowers the amount of iframes Dracula has, and you just do a lot more damage. That was a pretty unlucky fight, all things considered, so we're starting a little bit behind here. Fun thing about the version of the randomizer that we're playing on here is that items, your starting items are randomized, as well as the fact that your cape color is also randomized here. This is not a possible cape color in the normal vanilla version of the game. Alright, first thing I'm looking out for is how much damage am I doing with my starting weapon. I'm also checking to see the attribute of it. It seems to be doing dark damage because the enemies are flashing green when I hit them, and it's killing them in one hit, so I'm able to quickly make it through this part of the castle. I see my shield is a shield that can do damage, so I can use that as well to get through things quickly. And of course, much like the original game, we're going to be meeting with death up here in a second. I'm going to check my items. Normally you do an item check there to see if you have a library card. You can use the library card to skip the encounter with death and keep all of your equipment. But because I don't have a library card, I will lose all of it, which is fine. Normally this is pretty average for a start of a randomized seed. So we do have our first potential relic coming up here in the Cube of Zoe spot. Mystic Pendant, okay. Every time I see an item drop, just because it has a specific name of an item doesn't mean that it's necessarily that item. For example, that says Heart Brooch, but you can see on my tracker it actually lit up the spot for the gold ring. So that was a relic location, but it actually had a progression item. The gold ring is a possible progression item in the game. I'm going to go ahead and check this firebrand. It is the actual firebrand, has decent stats. This is a sellable ring, and then this is something that I will just put on for now in case I need to go to check the Holy Glasses location. All right. Another important part of the randomizer is doing item checks, so just checking locations where items can be. There's a random possibility that an item can just not spawn in. It has to do with the limitations of the randomizer currently. And there's no real way around it, so every once in a while, you'll go for an item check and the item will just disappear. It's to save room and memory to spawn in other progression items possibly in that area. But yeah, when doing item checks, you're usually looking for something that can do damage, looking for utility, looking for possible armor, so you don't take as much damage from enemies and bosses and stuff. I'm also hoping to get rid of this sword at some point, because it's a decent sword, but because it has the fire attribute, there's a lot of bosses and enemies that either absorb or resist fire. So I want to get rid of it kind of quickly. Here I'm going to be doing the Tetra Spirit spell. Does a lot of damage. It's, in general, doing spells as Alucard is quite effective when trying to kill bosses. It does cost a decent amount of MP right now, but right now we're not really using MP for anything outside of spells, so it's fine. That is true, yeah, the music is also randomized. That's another option for randomizing the music. That is basically in every preset. You can turn it off. Nice damage boost. That is a pretty rare damage boost, but I'm happy to see it. Nice. Yeah, this is a pretty standard seed so far. There's always the chance that you find like a very powerful relic early on, or a powerful weapon early on, and that can dictate the pacing of the seed a little bit more, but we're also possibly looking for like a shield, because shields unlock the ability to cancel your backdash by pulling up your shield by doing what is known as shield dashing. Here I'm going to be jumping to check the items that spawn up on top of those ledges. I'm going to check to see if there's a relic through these stairs. There is. It's Cube of Zoe. I'm actually going to go get it. Cube of Zoe is... Oh, I do need this money as well, possibly. That is one thing that's also important, is you do need cash in this game in order to purchase a possible relic at the library. The Cube of Zoe will make it a little bit easier to possibly find money, because this is what unlocks the potential for sub-weapons, items, money to drop from candles. Like right here is $100 that dropped from a candle. If I didn't have the Cube of Zoe, that wouldn't have been there. I'm basically going to be breaking all these candles looking for money, if I can reach them somewhat quickly. It also gives me access to basically every sub-weapon now, which is nice. Alright. I need $500 to purchase the relic that I'm thinking of in the shop, if it does exist, so... Ooh, 250? I'll just grab that again. Nice. Just to make sure I'm 100% certain that I can purchase that relic. I'll still be killing or breaking open some other candles and grabbing money along the way, because there's still the potential for more good items in the shop. I do have a sellable in my inventory as well, but having extra money always is nice, because you never know what's going to be in the shop, and especially because there's no progression items yet. Sometimes it's always good to have extra item or extra money just to buy stuff in the shop. Like I said earlier, something that you would look out for when you're in the shop is stuff like library cards. Library cards give you the ability to teleport back to the library at any point. And that's incredibly useful in a randomizer scenario, because you could end up in the second castle and need to come back to the first castle. And usually the fastest way to do that is with a library card. Nice, 2 hits to kill the Diplos. That's actually good, unless I got a crit there. There's always a potential that you get a critical hit and not know it immediately. No, it is actual 2-hit. Nice. Ooh, that's a good sub-weapon to have, too. I'm also looking for a stopwatch, because I will be fighting Doppelganger coming up here, and Doppelganger is fully frozen if you have the stopwatch sub-weapon, so that would be nice. More money's always nice, too. Nice. All right. That's fine. Doppelganger is also affected by elemental attacks, so he will be taking extra knockback from this flame sword, which is kind of bad because it's slower, but it's fine. It should be doing enough damage that will kill him relatively quickly, though. I'm not going to go back for the Holy Water necessarily. Holy Water is great, don't get me wrong, but I'm not really in a position where I need a very strong sub-weapon yet, so I'll just leave that for now. All right, this is the fight with Doppelganger. His AI is very manipulatable, so should be a pretty easy fight. Every once in a while, he does have a sword that can outrange you sometimes, but my sword's pretty big as well, so we're fine. He's going to do the wing smash, yep. You don't necessarily want to push him to the corner, so you can avoid him doing that attack, but it's fine. Only lost a little bit of time there. Ooh, another potential weapon here. The way that you know what kind of item you are picking up is based off of its type. So if you see a weapon on the floor and it's a sword, you know that it is a sword, essentially. If you see a use item, you know it's a use item. If you see a shield, you know it's a shield. If you see a headpiece, you know it's a headpiece, all that stuff. But the name and the sprite of the item is randomized. The way to tell what the item actually is in the way that it behaves in the vanilla version of the game, I'll come back for that. That's the Jewel of Open. I do need that, but it won't help me progress in the library, so I'm just going to move past it. This ends up being a little bit faster in the long run. To finish that thought, you check the description of the item in your inventory to tell what the actual item is. Oh, I don't one-shot these guys, really? Okay. There is an item drop here, which is Resist Stone. Okay. There are a few candles in the game that can actually drop items instead of just money or sub-weapons or hearts. And that is one of those candles. I'm using the axe to break open these. This is a little bit faster than jumping up there and slashing. Yeah, nothing too useful so far. Soul of Wolf. Okay, perfect. This is going to be our first progression item of the game. I can use the Soul of Wolf to gain extra height on slopes. It also gives you access to a dive kick attack when you untransform. The same goes for any transformation in the game. So this is a nice find, all things considered. Could be useful for movement as well later on. Oops, I keep forgetting that I don't one-shot these guys. They're relatively weak, so I usually assume that I can one-shot them, but I guess not. Alright. First things first, I'm going to check the library to see if it also has a potential for a good relic. I'm going to sell the gem that I have. Right, let's see what I have. Force of Echo, not really that important. Library cards for 200, that is insanely good price-wise. So I can buy a couple of library cards. This shield is the actual Medusa shield there. I'm looking at all of the descriptions as well as the increases and decreases in stats to determine what I want to buy. This Ring of Varda is actually the Ares, but it's too expensive. So there's not really a lot of like stat buffs I can purchase right now, except for some extra int, which could be nice. Yeah, I think I'll use that. I'll grab this shield, and then I'll purchase a couple of library cards. I'll keep a couple of monies stashed away for now. Oops. In case I want to use it. Sword forged by elves. This is a slightly better sword because it doesn't have a attribute assigned to it and also has a good hitbox, so I'll use that for now. Nice. Here I'm going to be trying to dive kick off of this book. Oh no, it's a little tricky to do. I'm going to have to reset, yeah. This would be an out of logic check, and it's honestly probably not the best idea for me to be doing it. But if I can get it... Damage me. Yep, there we go. Take the damage boost, and now we are up here when we are not supposed to, and I could possibly find, well, it's another sellable. And the fairy card. Okay. That is the only relic I want to find that has... what's the word I'm thinking of? That is a familiar. Fairy card is basically the only useful familiar in the game, so that's good. Alright, we spent a lot of time here, but there's not too much we can do, so we're going to move on. Come on. There we go. A little low on HP overall. Oh, I did buy that headgear as well. Let me actually put that on before I forget. And then, yep, that's the sellable. Sometimes it's easy to forget the equipment that you have because the names and sprites are randomized. So that also would have been a good time to turn the fairy card on, but I'll wait until I actually have some potions or something for her to use. Alright. Oh yeah, I forgot, the Medusa heads are immune to the Medusa shield. That's the only... there's a lot of weird interactions like that exist in this game. Let's check this item. Oops, using a summon spirit. Some sort of sword? I think I'm gonna go to Castle Keep using the wolf, which is another unintended consequence of... or an out-of-logic check, essentially. I'm doing a route that is considered out of logic. So I'm going to grab this first, and then we'll go to Castle Keep, and then possibly teleport back here if I need to. Because the Jewel of Open opens up two areas for me. There's the Castle Keep, but it wants you to go through the chapel, which is a little bit slower. Or it wants you to go to the caverns, which has two relic checks total. but is a very slow way to get there. So I'd rather go to the faster relic check and then teleport back. So this area you're not normally supposed to be able to get through until you have at least like the leap stone or some sort of flight or something like that. But we can do some very precise jumps to avoid these like crumbling platforms. Just have to wait for this guy to get out of the way. Actually, I can just do that. Nice. So we're going to be jumping off these platforms in midair. And also there is a specific spot you can stand in. Right here, where the bridge will not break when you stand on it. It's directly in the middle of the bridge, and that allows you to get past here. There's some stuff up there that would be nice to have, but can't reach it right now. All right, these precise jumps. Oof, barely made it. Nice. Again, this is an area you're not really supposed to be in yet. So I'm going to be dive kicking off that candle using the wolf transformation. Normally you don't have access to a dive kick either. You would either have to do that or get damage boosted by randomly spawning Medusa head, which is very annoying to do. So it's nice to not have to worry about that and actually just use the wolf transformation instead. This area can be a little scary because you're definitely under-leveled at this point in the game for this area, but my sword is one-shotting these enemies, so it's not too bad. I'm not going to be checking some of the possible item checks here because I can't really grab them with the movement options I have right now. There's a chance that I come back for them, though. I think I can do it this way, right? Oh, I should do it from here. Okay, we're going to reset the room. Never mind. If you are a little slow, those sword guys do respawn or spawn in little ghost sword versions of themselves. That's fine. Gives me the ability to check that item as well. Do a sloped wolf jump there to gain extra height. Alright, that's... So I'm breaking open these... Ooh, I might get this because, yep. So if you see any sort of medicine, the medicine in this game is randomized with other medicine items. So that's why I'll check those. But like use items like dynamite and stuff like that aren't usually as applicable. Potions can be very good in this game, but like single-use items usually aren't that great. Same goes with like food items. Food items usually aren't that important either. I don't need to save. Yeah, we're fine. So we're just going to do the one relic check and get out of here using the teleporter. These, oh, Thunderbrand. That could be good. It's another sword for us to check out to see if it's any good. There's literally nothing here. Nice. So one of the consequences of the randomizer is the fact that there are a lot of additional relic placements that exist now. So some of the relic spots have to just basically be blank because the relic that would have been there normally is in a completely different location that doesn't have normal relics or doesn't normally have a relic. For example, there are relics that spawn in boss fights that don't normally have relic spawns, as well as relics that spawn in item locations that wouldn't normally have relic spawns either. Alright, so we're going to go back to the outer wall using this teleporter. On the way, I will open this switch, because it's possible that I need to open the switch. This is just for safety. This will allow me to get to a teleporter at the castle entrance a little bit easier. But now we are basically forcing ourselves into the caverns here. That is where the seed wanted us to go. Let us see. So usually you don't want to be in a situation where you're doing a seed that has some backtracking in it, but it's fine. I'll do this item check up here. I can normally not reach this area unless I have some form of additional height. It was just a flame star. Not great, but could have been good. It's always nice having a shield in a seed like this, where you are doing a lot of backtracking, because then you have access to shield dashing. Can I just... No, not enough damage. I do have to hit them twice here. Oh, really? was able to two-shot with the flame sword, so I guess they're weak to fire. Yeah, they are. Makes sense. All right. I'm gonna use some wolf movement here because moving as the wolf can be faster in some sections. All right. If you are gonna untransform from the wolf, it is nice if you get damage boosted. It's a little bit faster than doing the whole untransformation animation. Here I'm buffering the transformation animation through a blue door. Nice. Which makes it a little bit quicker. Oh, there are these 2 items down here. I guess I'll check these real quick. I already have so many library cards, yeah. So that's the thing about library cards is they have the same exact sprite as the meal ticket item. The meal ticket item is essentially useless, so you can get baited sometimes into going out of your way to check items like that. All right. Into the caverns we go. I'm hoping to find gravity boots or bat, basically some form of flight down here. Because that's really like the next big thing that I'm missing to progress farther in the game. So the logic of the game will likely send me to get some form of flight soon. Oh, this sword is a little weak. Normally that boss dies incredibly quickly. That's a duplicator. That's dope. So duplicator is basically one of the best items in the game. So all of those like really weak use items that you can only use once, you have access to using them multiple times. Can you stop hitting me, please? This boss usually isn't very scary. You can end up in this area back here and actually do damage to her. It's pretty funny. And Heart of Vlad. Ah, okay. So Vlad relics are required relics in order to finish the game. They don't necessarily unlock any progression until you get all 5 of them, and then they unlock the final boss fight. So they are required for beating the game. Nice. Okay. So this duplicator down here is an equipment item that is going to hurt all of my stats, make them very, very bad. However, it allows me to use an infinite amount of single-use items, like this throwing flame star here. Is there anything else that I have that's good that I can use with it? Not really. Heart refreshes. If this version of the randomizer allowed for glitches, I would be using those, but maybe it's best if I don't use it yet. I think so. I think I'm better off not using the duplicator yet because my equipment isn't necessarily good yet. All right. So that's the thing about the duplicator is you don't want to put it on too early. Because it is very useful for movement, especially if you find like stuff like mana prisms or library cards, so you can use infinite amounts of those. But I don't want to deal with my stats being terrible right now, because it is a little bit scary. I am going for a full save here. Another strategy that can be employed here, I probably won't have to do it here, but you can end up saving in an area. And then if you don't find anything of use in a area going forward, you can reset the game and basically make it back to the area that you were before. This is a good sword, has a good hitbox, does decent damage, so I'm definitely going to switch at this point. I'm using the invincibility from the spell to try and get through this area. Got a little unlucky with the spear guard pattern. Can we? Thank you. So one of the things you're hoping for when you're doing a Symphony of the Night randomized seed is that you're hoping to find basically forms of movement. I have the wolf right now. The wolf is pretty limited in what it allows you to do. It opens up some areas using wolf jumps, using dive kicks. But really you're looking for something a little bit more substantial. Something like a gravity boots, which allows you to do high jumps. Wolf, like Power of Wolf, which gives you access to faster movement. Skill of Wolf also gives you access to a little bit faster movement. The Bat Soul will also open up a lot of areas. It's full flight alongside basically the fastest reliable movement in the game. So there's a lot of things that could be here that I'm hoping for. This is one of the reasons why I didn't want to go to the caverns if I didn't have to, is because this boat ride right here is essentially required to make it up here if you don't have extra means of gaining height. Does this give me enough height? It does not. Dang it. So it can be a little finicky. And you have to wait for that boat ride. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, it's the bat. Soul of Bat is essentially the best thing I could have found here. Now I can transform into the bat and use Wing Smashes, which are a spell that costs 8 MP, and I can use them over and over and over again to continue my chain of Wing Smashes. And I can go fast using it, as you can see there. But every time I do the Wing Smash input, it does cost the MP that I take, the 8 MP. So it'll take it away from me, and then... But it will basically reapply the timer for Wing Smashing, because that's what happens when you don't repress the Wing Smash input. Is you basically just run out of juice and then untransform, and it forces you out of the transformation. Sometimes you want to do that on purpose, so that way you can conserve MP. And sometimes you just drop the input, and then you don't actually get it. Here I'm going back to the castle entrance for another relic check. This is huge. Form of Mist. Okay, so I have some options here. I probably... I think I know what I want to do. I think I'm going to return to the caverns later. Because now I have a lot more options on the table for relic checks, and the caverns themselves don't have that many checks left. There is more I could do in the caverns, but I'm actually going to leave it for later. Because it'll make sense with the kind of route that I want to do. Yeah, finding the Mist there is great, because Mist is another important relic. It gives you access to getting past Mist Gates, which there are 2 relics in this game that require you to get past Mist Gates for. Here, I'm basically just looking for a Mana Prism, and I'm good to go as far as like my movement goes. Because with the Duplicator and a Mana Prism, I would have access to infinite mana, which would be nice. Oh, that skeleton wanted to ruin my day. He kind of did a little bit. But yeah, from here, I'm going to be using Wing Smashes a lot. Maybe not trying to overdo it, because that can waste a lot of MP in total. Skill Wolf. I'll grab it, why not? That gives you access to a Wolf Dash. That's a little bit faster than the normal Wolf Dash. It does cost MP, though, and you have to redo it over and over again until you get the Power of Wolf, which essentially will let you sustain a very fast speed. Come on. There we go. The Wing Smash input is a little tricky. It requires you to hold the jump button and then do a 3/4 circle motion starting from up, going back, down to forward, and then releasing the jump button. So what is that, like 9 inputs in total? Because you also do have to hit every single diagonal along the way, otherwise the input will not register. This game is very, very particular about how you do inputs. You cannot have any sloppy inputs whatsoever. Nice. All right. So we have 2 Vlad relics so far. Right now, all I need to beat the game is the rest of the Vlad relics as well as the Holy Glasses, and then I'm done. That's basically go mode for this version of the randomizer. Oh, also you'll see me visiting save rooms, basically just to refill my MP and then leave. Because you get a full HP refill and MP refill every time you stop at a save room. Nice. This seed is actually quite good so far. Having access to the Duplicator is amazing. Having those cheap library cards at the start opens up a lot of routing possibilities. And then finding the bat, too, relatively early on, less than 30 minutes into the seed, is great as well. There are seeds because it is a purely random distribution of relics for the most part, outside of, like, you know, things have to make sense within logic. Like, you can't have stuff that every relic has to be acquirable at some point in the seed. But it still is a very random distribution of relics overall. Nice. Those goggles, as you can see, lit up the Holy Glasses location on my tracker. So that is nice. Ooh, Buffalo Stars. Those are another throwable weapon that have the chance to be quite powerful depending on the stats. Nice. All right. I do kind of need a potion as well. There is a particular skip that I could do that is allowed within the glitchless rule set that we were following. That allows me to check the silver ring without having access to the spike breaker, which is the required way to check it. But I do need some form of invincibility, like a potion. I do have heart refreshes. I could use those. Those give you invincibility as well. They're just a little bit slower, but it's fine. All right. There's a couple of relics that we can check here. Let's go to the Coliseum, see what's in here. It's also nice to have the bat relic because it gives you just so much freedom in your movement and routing decisions, because you can go almost anywhere once you have the bat relic, and you can get there quite quickly. So it's always a nice thing to see. Oh, baby, gravity boots. That is a very useful movement item as well. Nice. So I'm going to be using the gravity boots alongside the other movement options that I have. It basically gives you a big jump vertically, and you could also angle it diagonally. Like right here, I can angle this gravity jump diagonally, and you get to maintain some of your horizontal momentum when transforming into the bat. So there's a lot of movement options that you have available to you once you have the gravity jump with the gravity boots. We'll just say that was an intentional damage boost. Sure, why not? That is one of the nice things about when you're a little limited on mana, getting damage boosted in the right direction is always nice. Saves you on having to wing smash a little bit. Because now I'm basically going to be routing around what my max mana is and trying to make sure that I use as much mana as I can without going over, obviously. Before getting to the next save room, because the save room is going to be where I refill my mana until I find possibly a mana prism. So I have gravity boots. That's true. I do have gravity boots. I was trying to save the MP by not using gravity boots because it's more MP efficient to fly upwards. What was that? Oh, it's a shield potion. Dang. It was a medicine item, so I wasn't sure what it was going to be. Yeah, sometimes you go for more MP efficient movement options if you're unsure of how much MP you're going to have left before getting to the save room. Stuff like that. So sometimes it's not always about using the fastest movement option you have available to you. Sometimes it's about setting up a situation where you have plenty of MP for the next section. Duplicator for sure. Want to put that on now that I have this Buffalo Star. It does a decent amount of damage. This Javelin is very good, actually. Do I do Javelin Buffalo Star? Let's see the Flame Star. Flame Star does the same amount as the Buffalo Star. So Buffalo Stars are going to be better in that scenario. Nice. This is the Duplicator at work. I can use as many of these throwable items as I want. Javelins are great, especially if they have a decent amount of attack, because they can multi-hit larger opponents. Whereas the throwable stars, they disappear on contact, where the javelins will go straight through. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, this is one of the harder bosses in the first castle, and he was a cakewalk because of the duplicator as well as the throwables. So that's nice. This is not a useful relic. Nope. I was trying to avoid it because the relic grab animation is quite slow, but it's fine. One of the other nice things about having throwable weapons is that they are able to be used for backdash canceling, much like the shield is, so I can still have relatively fast movement. Chrysogram, interesting. That doesn't necessarily mean it is the Chrysogram because of the way the randomization works, but Chrysogram is basically the best weapon in the game. Nice. Okay, so I have both... Yeah, silver ring and gold ring at this point. So I am going to want to go back. Should I go back now? Nah, I can check silver ring right now. This will also... It's a tough call. It's a tough call. This is fine. Pretty low on MP, though, which is one of the reasons why I'm kind of worried about this. Yeah. I'm going to need to wait for my MP to refill a little bit. So I'll do these item checks in the meantime. So many shield potions in this seed. Cross Shuriken, that could be a good one as well. Alright. From here, I guess I'm going to have to use this Heart Refresh, yeah. Cross Shurikens are okay. This Chrysogram is not that great. Okay. I'm gonna wait a little bit for my MP to refill, because I am gonna have to make it through the entirety of the spike hallway without running out of MP. This should be plenty. Let's see. I'm not going to use the wing smash because the wing smash is less efficient than just flying normally, and I cannot run out of MP here. There we go. This is going to give me some iframes, which will let me open this door without getting hit by the spikes. Nice. Which will give me access to this relic placement right here, this relic check, which is another Vlad relic. I'm glad I went this way now. All right, let's use a library card to get out of here. Because now that we have the mist, we have the option to check the library bat location. Is there anything else that's worth buying again? I have much more money now.
I'm interested.
I think there was a equipment item that was pretty good, right? This one, plus 15 defense, which actually gives me... May absorb damage taken. I'll just get 2. Well, I didn't need 2, but... Yeah, I just need some amount of defense because the issue of having the duplicator equipped is that you will take extra damage. The tooth does increase your strength, that is correct, Rogue. So yeah, all of the Vlad relics do give you small buffs. The Heart of Vlad makes you immune to curse damage. The Rib of Vlad gives you extra 10 constitution. And then the Tooth of Vlad gives you an extra 10 strength as well. Yeah, so far the seed has been flying by pretty fast. We only need 2 more Vlad relics to beat the game, and that's it. And we're pretty much set up to do that. Nothing here. I'm going to be using a library card to leave because it's a little bit... Oh my god. There we go. It's a little bit faster than going around the other way. It's one of the nice things about having a duplicator is you can use as many library cards as you want. So this probably only saved me like 10 seconds in movement, but still, that's 10 seconds saved. From here, I have a couple more relic checks left in the first castle. So there is the chance that there are still more Vlad relics left in the first castle. This is one of those scenarios where if you were doing a race, there is always the option to do a little bit of a gamble and go to the second castle early and hope to find the last 2 Vlad relics there. It's one of the reasons why this version of the randomizer has been very popular with racing, because there's a lot of excitement and interesting routing decisions that can be made. Oops. Barely didn't have enough MP there. This is one of those moments where you want to route your MP just enough to make it to this save room, but I was a little bit too ambitious there with my MP usage. Alright, we're going to be checking Fire of Bat here. Not a useful relic. That's the fairy scroll. It just shows the names of the enemies that you kill in the castle. Not great. Basically a useless relic. Come on, please. All right. We'll warp to the outer wall. We'll check the outer wall relics that I haven't checked yet. There are 2 left here. Sorry, not outer wall. I meant the castle keep. This is the castle keep that we're entering right now. There are 2 relics that I have left here to check. I'll do those now. I couldn't grab these earlier because I didn't have the access to flying. Nice. Pretty good movement here. Nothing here. Don't need any of that stuff. One of the things that's nice about once you have decent equipment is you can kind of just ignore item drops if they aren't the item type that you are looking for. Like right now, I'm basically only looking for medicine type Ah, that's the Spirit Orb. Not useful. Alright. So essentially, I'm only looking for medicine-type items because that has the only potential to be a Mana Prism. And right now, the Mana Prism's all I need left to complete my the build of the character that I'm using right now. Basically, just have infinite Mana Prisms alongside the Duplicator and just fly around really, really fast. Let's see. Yeah, we got to do Holy Glasses into... Yep. Okay. Opening the map there, it shows me which checks I still have left. So when I left the caverns for earlier, I was doing it on purpose, so that way I can combine a few things now that I have flight. And I wanted to combine doing the Succubus boss fight along with a couple of other things. Because the Succubus boss fight you basically want to do from this side. I still need to do Holy Glasses as well, actually, before I forget. Where are you? There you are. Nice. I guess I'll put these on for now, so I don't have to menu again. So once you have both the gold and silver rings, you go into this clock room, and it opens up a secret floor underneath you, and that gives you access to where the Holy Glasses normally are in the vanilla version of the game, but it is a relic check, so we're going to be checking that right now. Yeah, at this point in the seed, we're basically just trying to find all the Vlad relics. This can't be anything because there's no relic spawned there. The relic would be floating in midair if it was there, so we know there's nothing there and we can move on. At best, it could be Spike Breaker, which is another item, but I don't need Spike Breaker to beat the game, so I'm not going to go out of my way and wait through that slow animation. So we're going to go back, backtrack a little bit to the catacombs, and then from there we'll have just a handful more relic checks left before we can confidently say that we're done with the first castle and enter the second castle. Let's refill on MP here just to make things a little bit nicer, because I think I was going to run out of MP if I didn't do that. This area has a couple of item checks available. Don't need that. It's another thing that's useful about having throwable items is you can just throw the item at the breakable objects and then see if you need that item type. I don't need any of those item types, so I'm good. It's a little bit faster than walking up to them and breaking the pot and then checking it manually like that, so small optimizations. Yeah, this randomizer has the option to do a ton of small optimizations everywhere. It's one of the reasons why I think it's so fun to play through is you're constantly always in new situations where you can do small second time save here, second time save there, go for a route idea that you've never had to do before, so you kind of have to come up with it on the fly. All the fun stuff that you could expect from a in-depth randomizer. That's the power of Wolf. I really don't need more Wolf relics, so I'm good. Basically, once you have the bat, it kind of obsoletes most other movement relics as far as the transformation ones go. The bat can just do everything so much better than a lot of other forms of movement. We'll do a mana refill here, and now we have the option to go into the mines, basically, so let's go ahead and do that. Would have been nice if I was able to press the switch on the way there, but whatever. I do have to press a switch so we can enter the mines, but it's not that slow. I will grab that sword just in case it's a very good sword. It'd still be nice to find a Chrysogrim somewhere, or a Vorpal Blade. Both of those are particularly good items. to have. Here, I need to keep the barrel skeleton alive and then lure him over so he can throw his barrel and then break this bridge here. Oh, thank you, Alf. Glad you were able to check out the Twitch stream. Welcome. There's only a handful of relic checks that I have left available to me now in the first castle. So we'll see if we find another Vlad relic. That's basically all I'm looking for now. Just more Vlad relics. There are other relics that would be useful to have. Things like Power of Mist would be nice to have because it would allow me to have infinite use of my mist, and it costs a lot less MP. So that'd be nice. It also makes you fully invincible while you do it, so it's kind of like a get out of jail free card in case something bad happens. Ah! Ring of Vlad. So now we only need one more Vlad relic to beat the game. So that's cool. Again, Power of Mist isn't something that I need by any means, but it's just a nice thing to have. I will check these items just in case. All right. No mana prisms throughout the entirety of this seed, which is unfortunate, but still a relatively fast seed. 4 Vlad relics at 45 minutes. That's pretty good. Am I going to go creature first? No. I'll do the standard route. Oops. That's fine. All right. Just going to be doing some nice wing smashing through these hallways because we are going to Grand Faloon now. Grand Faloon is a boss fight in this game. Same thing with Scylla, another boss fight in this game, where they don't normally drop relics when you beat them. And they still don't drop relics, but they are guarding a room that has a specific item behind it. And that item has been changed to be a relic potential spot in this version of the randomizer. This is referred to as using the guarded logic. And nice. Let's go beat the game, I guess. This is an insane seed, wow. So yeah, we have all 5 Vlad relics. I'm going to be using this library card to get out of here, because it's faster than backtracking the other way. And now we can just go beat the game. That's crazy. It's usually like the normal distribution of relics is such that there is about 2/3 of the relic checks that are possible in the game in the first castle, and then 1/3 is in the second castle. So you're usually expecting to find anywhere from like 3 to 4 relics in the first castle, and at least 1 of the Vlad relics in the second castle. But the fact that all 5 are in the first castle is pretty rare. I'm gonna be honest. It's pretty rare. The route I took was also pretty good, all things considered. There's probably room for improvement on it, based off of just the relic distribution, but I think overall I did a high density of checks, because that's usually the best way to ensure that your route is like as fast as you can do it while not knowing exactly where the relics are, is you just want to do the largest density of relic checks as possible, as fast as possible. So that's usually the strategy that I come up with. Other players, they like to take more risks, more gambles, because it could end up being a much faster seed overall if their predictions are correct. So there's a lot of different options when it comes to playing through this version of the randomizer. There we go. Just doing a couple spells here to break the shaft orb that is taking control of Richter. This gives us access to the second castle. Yeah, every single relic was in the first castle. That's pretty rare. It's probably like 1 out of every 20 seeds is like this, maybe even less. It's pretty rare. But they do make for quite fast seeds, because on the average, you want to finish up the majority of what you can in one castle before moving to the next one, because moving between castles can be quite slow, all things considered. If you have library cards, it does speed things up a little bit, because you'll have access to moving back to the first castle at least pretty quickly. But doing the entirety of the first castle, like movement-wise, can be kind of slow. Or sorry, the second castle. The second castle is a little bit more awkward to move through because, I mean, everything's just kind of upside down. But you do need to be in the second castle in order to beat the game because that's where the final boss fight is. It's in the second castle. So from here, we're just going to be moving, just beelining it to the final boss fight of the game. I'll be stopping at saves along the way to refill my MP. Nice. Yeah, this was a very fast seed. I don't need to worry about what this relic is, so I'm just going to leave, not even check it. Medusa does normally spawn a relic. There are a lot of extra relic checks that I will not be checking out. Just because I don't need to. There's no point in wasting your time in checking those relics to see if they're anything, because I already have everything I need to beat the game. The duplicator is also quite powerful when it comes to defeating enemies and bosses, so I'll just be using that to fight Dracula. Come on. You don't want to drop a wing smash in this area because, yeah, this area can be a little tough. I have to actually kill these enemies. Usually don't want to have to do it, but it's fine. It's not that bad. All right. From here, I do need to get past this guy. Nice. It's like the last scary part of the run, really. Is those Minotaurs. But we should be fine here. I just can't drop a wing smash, I guess, in this next room. Which is fine. Easy peasy. Pretty much home free from here. Yeah, that imp room, it causes lag on the PlayStation version because there's just so much crap on the screen. So you do want to get through that room quickly, otherwise it gets kind of bad, but I did what I could. Preferably you would have a stopwatch there because it helps not spawn in some enemies and it keeps the lag more manageable. So. But overall, this is a pretty fast seed. Is not touching the staircase in the previous room safer? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Sestrin. Are you talking about the zigzag room, or are you talking about the imp room? Because in the imp room, you want to touch the staircase. Because you need the best terrain boost you can get by flying against the staircase. If you're talking about the zigzag room, it doesn't really matter. The speed at which you're able to execute your wing smashes matters more than where you execute them, if that makes sense. Also, I'm not doing like a ton of damage here. All right. So this should still be a one cycle, but it's going to be kind of slow on Dracula, so yeah. A sub-hour seed is definitely above average, so that's great. The left side of the stairs do have weird collision, that is correct. You need to be on the stairs themselves and not on the flat part before the stairs for the zigzag room. The way I do it is I do the terrain boost on the stairs if I can. And if I can't set up the terrain boost, I just don't do it. Hi there, SotN. Here I'm just going to be using my powerful throwing weapons over and over again, trying to avoid getting damaged here, and that is time. Nice. Sub 34. That was a good seed. Wow. Fantastic. Yeah, and this has been the Castlevania Symphony of the Night randomizer. Nice.
You have been doomed ever since.
Hopefully that was enjoyable and you enjoyed watching and all that fun stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube, please consider subscribing. Only 55% of the people that watch these videos are subscribed. And with all that out of the way, thank you so much for watching again. Peace out.